Bernie Sanders hailing New York City socialist and mayoral hopeful who run the Democratic primary, Zohran Mamdani, the future of the Democratic Party. Watch this.
Together we will freeze the, make buses fast and deliver universal. We will freeze the, make buses fast and deliver universal.
They're afraid of Mr. Mamdani becoming an example to what can happen all over this country.
Yeah, exactly, Bernie, right on the nose. Our next guests have both lived the American dream and are here warning New Yorkers about the dangers of socialism. Vivek Ramaswamy is here, and Florida GOP Senator, former Governor Rick Scott. They're teaming up to make sure you become the next governor. First off, Bernie Sanders was 100% right. Republicans and some Democrats fear that that's the future of the party because that 33-year-old might win in New York, but that is not a message that's going to win in America.
Well, look, I think from the politics of it, I think it's pretty clear that if Mamdani does win in New York, that's actually a gift for Republicans in the midterms.
They're running ads about him already.
But the fact of the matter is, still, New York is one of America's premier cities. We don't want to see this city fail. What I want to see Republicans do and what I want to see us doing here is set an example for being the party of capitalism. What does that alternative actually look like? Because if you look at young people, why is Mamdani popular? You look at many young people say they view socialism as a more favorable system than capitalism by a majority. So I think what we're missing right now is a pro-capitalist movement to say this is the best system known to the history of man to lift people up from poverty. Make that case to young people. And I think that's up to us. And this is a great wake-up call for our side to say we're painting that alternative vision rather than making effectively the case for Andrew Cuomo, which is a pretty sad state of affairs if those are your choices.
You're born working class, first generation.
Sure.
You had the most dire circumstances possible in many cases growing up, and you're both unbelievably successful. But there's a sense that you're not supposed to be proud of that.
Oh, you should absolutely be proud of it. We should be talking about how you can go from public housing, which I did, to being able to build big companies and be the governor of Florida and U.S. senator. What we are talking about is exactly what Vivek said. Let's talk about the opportunity. We should be the opportunity party. We should be the freedom party. We should be the capitalism party. Right,
and talk about grit and talk about what you're going to need to be successful in life, no matter where you're at. So I wanted to bring you this exchange about this so-called city-run grocery stores. Even CNN can't handle it. Watch.
In Kansas City, where they had a government-run grocery store, and it's been there for years, but it's on the verge of closing because it doesn't work. Frankly, the government is not that good at being in the business of being in grocery stores. So what do you say to that example?
We have to prove not only the efficacy, but the excellence of this idea. Because for every one example that you can point to, there's another of another municipality today considering opening a city-run grocery store. But to me, the most important thing is the outcome. This is something I believe will work.
He said absolutely nothing of use. It doesn't work. People working in Kansas City, that grocery store, have to use tasers to work there. It's crime-ridden.
I grew up in Kansas City, where this store closed, and I grew up in the grocery business. I worked there. My friends own grocery stores. They told me about this. It never worked. You know, government run anything. What does government run well? Name one thing.
I can't. The Defense Department, I hope, but
yeah, I mean, the reality is he talking? Why is this catching on? He's talking about certain real problems without offering the right solutions. Affordability. Let's talk about housing. If housing's a real problem, are you going to do freezing rent? What's that going to do? It's going to hurt everybody who owns buildings and downstream the people who live in them too. But you want to address the housing crisis, here's how you do it. Get the red tape out of the way to construct new housing. That's true in New York as it is in Ohio. Get the regulations out of the way. I mean, both of us have traveled this country. Nobody wants more red tape. Everyone wants less red tape. So focus on the actual right solutions, and that's how we address the problems that are very real that we can't sweep under the rug either. And that's the wake-up call for us as Republicans.
And guys, 8 out of 10 Americans, mostly Democrats and Republicans, say that crime is a major problem in this country.
Yep.
And as we see a shot of this horrific scene, this 23-year-old Ukrainian woman who survived war in Russia, and in Charlotte, she just hops on a train after working in a pizzeria, and she gets hacked to death by this career criminal sitting behind her. And the mayor doesn't want anyone to talk about it. We don't hear anything from the governor. Elon Musk said, why don't people care about this? What's your reaction to this? I think it's a much bigger story. Battleground state, Democrats run, and they want to bury it instead of trying to stop it.
Why wasn't he in jail? Why wasn't he in prison? All right. In Florida, you have to serve your time. We don't let people out early. I mean, we have tough laws. We have great sheriffs. That's what we ought to have. What do people want? They want a good job. They want a great education, and they want to be safe. They want to be safe. You're not going to be safe in New York with Mamdani. I mean, he wants to get rid of the police. He wants to defund the police. This is craziness.
Vivek, real quick.
Yeah, look, I mean, if we wouldn't be talking about this one incident in Charlotte if it was a one-off, it's becoming normalized across the country. Think about my home state, Cincinnati to Cleveland. Think about what's coming right here in New York City to L.A. This abandonment of the rule of law has become normalized in the country.
Right.
And that's the psychological shift I worry about. If you accept this type of crime, where you see a video like this and you're so numb to it, to me, that's what's the most frightening part about that incident. The good news is it's not rocket science.
Right.
More cops on the streets, reform of bail bond system. If you're a repeat offender, don't let them back out. It's common sense.
Right.
And the fact that my Democrat opponents in Ohio or Democrats here in New York can't actually stand for those common sense policies says everything you need to know.
Running unopposed, but it just is important to point out that Tim Ryan, who ran on the Democratic side, big story today that you're getting all his donors.
Yeah.
So Democrats are coming to you even before the general election started.
A lot of those centrist Democrat donors are disaffected. They're coming our way, and we welcome them.
Right, and you should welcome this guy. He's got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Senator Rick Scott, thanks so much. Great to see you, Vivek Ramaswamy, maybe the next governor of Ohio. Meanwhile, straight ahead. Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.